Hey everybody. So today is day 50 of my 100-day experiment to change my life, which started when Dan, my husband, and I separated 50 days ago. And it's a good time to kind of take stock of what has happened and how I'm feeling and how things are going. One thing that I want to say is, right now, when I look back at some of the early videos, I am quite amazed to see that it's already no longer who I am. If you've watched some of my videos, you've seen that sometimes I question, like, am I evolving or am I just stuck in patterns and just rehashing the same stories? But when I look, and that is the benefit, whether you make videos or journal and write down what's happening in your life, that's how we see if we're progressing. Because if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't know how far I've come. When I look back at those, I am such a different person already. And that gives me hope that I'm on the right track and it's an upward track. And that feels really good. I also realized that I've gained more clarity. And I've actually connected with a power within me that I haven't known in my life. There is something new that is birthing in me, and I am connecting with it now and then, and it is empowering. On the flip side of that, because we feel everything and go through everything, I also have deep feelings of hurt that are still in me, and of course it's understandable. It's only been 50 days. But I'm realizing how much these events are bringing up a lot of childhood issues that are being played out in this situation. And for me, it's, the main ones I'm thinking of right now are wounds of abandonment and rejection. So separating from your husband is like, I think, a big spotlight on that, and it's bringing up a lot, but I believe that it's coming up for my benefit and for me to heal and grow from this. The reason people separate is because there are things that are no longer acceptable. Behaviors, circumstances, whatever it is. It's just some things are no longer acceptable. And I'm trying to look at this as a good thing. And it's very tempting, whether it's with, separation from a friend or from a job or anything where you have this sense that this is no longer acceptable and I'm going to do something about it. It's really easy to get lost and trapped in seeing things and getting stuck at the level of the story. We can blame and point the finger and get all the stories around, I've been wronged, this was not okay, this was not okay. And this is kind of an endless path. I've listened to a video from Eckart Tolle, and in it he was talking about when the mind, through suffering and stories, the mind starts with a thought that can lead you down a path of a story where the ego will just grab. He says it's like a dog sniffing a good story and just like going, and just like. If you're enjoying some of the content of my videos, please give it a like, subscribe, write a comment. It's going to help other people find this video and join in to the conversation. And just like following the track and the scent as far as it can go, and kind of just do it frantically and just can't let it go. There's a bone at the end, I can feel it, I can sense it, I can smell it. And this is kind of, to me, what happens when you stay stuck at the level of the story. And I'm still doing this more than I would like to, but I find I'm becoming more of an observer of the process. So I haven't developed the ability to actually stop my train of thought from going, but I am observing it and going, watch you go, just look at this, what's going on. And sometimes I can kind of bring it back, and other times it's just like, well, okay, like just keep going, the mind, the story, the monologue that just rehashes stories and says, this was wrong, this was wrong, this was wrong. But I'm really choosing, like in a very conscious way, to move from the level of the story to seeing that this is actually a good thing. When we come to a point when some things are no longer acceptable in our lives, it means that we're ready to detach ourselves from some codependencies. So when I say that these patterns of abandonment and rejection are coming up, these childhood wounds, well, it's also giving me an opportunity to see things that I can heal and that I no longer have to live from. There is something else that is coming to me that is, I can make choices in life other than from all the fears and all the wounds and all the codependencies that have become me, or that I have the illusion that is me. So I just like that idea that when we sense in our life that something is no longer acceptable, it's like, put aside the hurt, but think of it, there's a moment that we can actually celebrate that, because it means that there's something that is evolving, and that's why something is no longer acceptable, because before that point, it was just our life. Even if it caused suffering, it hadn't become unacceptable. And once you get to that point, it's like, I'm healing, I'm evolving, I'm actually releasing or alchemizing some of the deep wounds. And so the relationship that I will have with the world or with a partner can no longer resemble the one that I had in the old world. They say that in life we attract partners that bring about the feelings of familiarity with how we felt as a child. So whatever hurt you had as a child, which, I can identify as the fear of abandonment and fear and being rejected, the pain that comes from that. In my case, it means that I've attracted partners that will reflect that back to me and make me relive this. And that fear, or just the fear, it doesn't mean right now it's like, it's the epitome, because the separation, the abandonment, and the rejection has actually happened. But through the relationship, it's like that fear is alive, and you stay because that feeling is familiar. So I'm just really looking at the growth side of things. So overall, I guess I'd say I'm still feeling a bunch of feelings, and they go from one end of the spectrum to the other. Actually, I'm going to correct that. I don't feel like those feelings are at the end of the spectrum like they were, not on the suffering side. I have moments, that where it's welling up, but overall, if I look at the person that I was and I remember my days right after the separation, I do not go that far down the path anymore. And that is really comforting. The other thing, like I said, that's happening is that it's this power that I'm feeling in me. There is something that is way deep down, like lower part of my body, and there's a strain that's coming from there. And the hiking and the pounding on the ground, I think, is really helping the energy for me to go down into the ground and find this power within, from the parts of me that I didn't want to look at before, that were kind of eating up that power. It's a strange feeling, but it's an actual feeling that I'm getting. So instead of only being in my mind and trying to figure everything out from this frequency or this energy, there's now something that's beginning to make me feel like there's a power in me that I am just getting glimpses of, and it's very exciting. So I feel like this experiment, as I've called it, this moment in my life, is leading me in the right direction. And I'm really working at not only accepting my reality, that this is life now, but also of being more open to What am I called to do instead of taking actions from fears? That's something I'm working on super intensely and with awareness. I don't want to make decisions from fear of lack of money, fear of not being seen, fear from not having a place, fear of being alone, fear. I want to take actions because something in me, or yes, in me, the divine in me, the source, is actually calling me to take actions. And even though sometimes I think, wow, like today, 50 days, there's still no hint of new income coming in or my business getting business. Like, there's no business. But anyway, there's no inkling of new income. And I'm like, wow, I'm 50 days into it. I'm not there. But I still feel with the things that are going through me that I am right on the edge of a breakthrough, of a new world being birthed through me, a Annie that I haven't known before and that is just ready to emerge and be in the world and see what life has in store once I am more me. So that's where I am. Hurt, hope, breakthrough, power, sadness. It's all in the pot, but I am feeling more hope and power than sadness and hurt and despair. So I'm good. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Day 50 of my 100 days.